So here's the boots with the zipper sewed in, and the front's all sewn up nice. So that's what it looks like. I'm gonna cut the zipper down here. I'll cut this and sew it in real tight so that the little thing doesn't slide off. There's that little metal piece to keep it on, but I'll probably cut the zipper before then. And then what I'm going to do is add some structural elements with thicker leather in this area, basically around the ankles, so that when I'm hiking and I'm like putting lateral pressure on, like climbing over rocks and logs and stuff, that I have that like cup on the side and the back here like this, so that I don't have to worry about rolling my ankle off. And here's the other one. The stitching looks a little sloppy because every time I will pull thread through, it will pull a little bit of fur through. That's what all these black dots are. They're like little pieces of fur that came through. The trick with sewing a zipper on is to sew it on before you cut. So like I sewed this zipper on while the shoe was still in one piece, and then once you have the zipper on, then you go up the middle with a razor and cut. And a trick to doing your cuts, instead of starting at the top and trying to cut it down, start it like inch in, because that'll keep this top part nice and steady for you. So start your cut like an inch in and go down. And then once you got it open, then turn the razor up and cut out the top. So these are so comfortable, man. I'm stoked. They look like they're almost done, but in reality they've got quite a bit more work to do. I have mentioned adding the structural support on the side for the ankle, cutting the zipper down, and then once that's all dialed in, I might go back through and re-sew the back just to make sure that it's like exactly contoured to my leg. It's pretty close right now, but I want it to be perfect, because these are like a lifetime thing. Like, I'm spending a considerable amount of time making these right now, but no joke, they'll last forever, because if the sole wears out, I'll re-sole it. If it gets a hole in it, I'll sew it up and put a patch on it. Like, these are lifetime boots. So it's worth it to take the time right now to do it proper, so that I don't have to wish that I had spent another couple hours in one of these middle phases where you can't really go back and add effort into it. Like, once it's already done, it's like baking a cake. Once you put it in the oven, the recipe is done. So once I put that final outer leather on there, it's kind of done, and I want to make sure that it's super dialed in before I do that step, because that's another step that's pretty time consuming. And once I do that, that's like putting it in the oven. Like, I'm going to get all the stitching perfect and fit it perfect while it's at this stage, so that when I come around and wrap it for real with the leather and sew all that in nice and tight, that I don't have to back up any steps out of that. Alright, I'm glad you're enjoying the video series on how to make your own shoes. You can pretty much do anything as long as you're willing to be patient, as long as you have the tools to do it and the supplies. Like, I didn't like create these out of thin air. Like, I went to the leather store and, dropped $100 on really dank supplies, like top of the line stuff. And then, I used my experience from messing up a bunch of other projects over the years, uh, to dial it in proper. So, but when you're willing to invest in time and learning and trial and error and putting in time to develop some basic skills, you can do whatever you want. Um, and it's always helpful if you find somebody to show you how to do it. Save yourself some time. But if you don't, then you can still learn. YouTube is all about teaching people how to do stuff.